This historic moment for the peninsula of Korea, for the nations around Korea, and truly for all worldwide, no doubt being watched at the White House by President Trump. Our Steve Engel is at the DMZ for these, the pageantry really from about 9 o'clock last night. Here is the leader of North Korea. Let's listen just for a moment. Could you bring up the audio, please, just for a moment, Riley?
문재인 대통령은 분열의 비극과 통일의 열망이 연결되어 있는 이것 판문점에서 역사적인 책임감과 사명감을 안고
Really, for the first time that we are hearing this leader so clearly, and it's remarkable. Steve Engel, how much of a shock is it for you, truly on the Korean watch, to hear the leadership of North Korea speak?
It's very interesting, Tom, that you picked up on that, because we see a lot of footage of Kim Jong-un, but we don't hear his voice, okay, often. And one of the notes that our colleagues who are following this very closely, one of their key takeaways from the morning sessions was, wow, Kim Jong-un does not speak with a northerner accent. There are different accents, of course, on the Korean peninsula, and you would expect, being born in North Korea, however educated in Europe, that he would have a northern accent. In fact, our colleague said his accent could be easily mistaken for someone living in the center of Seoul. That was a very interesting thing, simply because we haven't heard much of his voice. We hadn't seen his signatures, and he signed the guest book, if you want to call it that, in the Peace House on the south.
All right, Stephen Engel, stay with us. Let's also bring in Miha Hubernik, Senior Asia Analyst at Verisk Maplecroft. He's in Beijing. Miha, when you look at this historic summit, I mean, we've never really seen anything like it. As Stephen was saying, we've never heard from the North Korean leader before. Will this bring long-lasting peace, or could it all go wrong?
Well, without a doubt, today is a historic day. I think we can all agree on that. It's a historic day for the two Koreas. It's a historic day for the entire region and for the entire world. This really is an unprecedented event. President Moon, who was driving a lot of the effort that went into organizing something like this today, obviously with very active participation by North Korea over the past few months, really can take a lot of the credit for that. Having said that, this is the start of a very long process. And certainly there is a cause for very cautious optimism. But if we view denuclearization as the ultimate goal of today, which based on the declaration, that is what everyone is expecting to happen, I would say that we should be more pessimistic than optimistic on that front. In that sense, today doesn't change anything.
Right, but Miha, so the North Korean leader, and we're seeing him on screen for our radio listeners, this is a voice in the background. He is saying, of course, Tom and I don't speak Korean, but we're getting it through a translator, saying it took a long time for such a meeting between the two Koreas. We were almost at the brink. I mean, a month ago, we were talking about a possible World War III. What happened that suddenly the two leaders are hugging and signing declarations?
Well, this is the million-dollar question. Obviously, your colleague earlier pointed out one key element. This is the impact of economic sanctions. Definitely, this has had an impact on the North Korean economy and has served as a motivator. The unpredictability of the Trump administration might be another one. And certainly, we feel at Verisk Maplecroft that the ultimate goal of North Korea in these talks and the future talks and the Trump-Kim summit that will follow is to extract as many concessions as possible without giving too much in return. The question then, of course, is, with denuclearization almost certainly off the table, we believe that just because of regime survival, the amount of resources and effort that North Korea invested into building up this arsenal, which got it to where we are today. I mean, they're on TV right now. They're not going to give that up. The question is now, and I would put the ball into the court of President Moon and President Trump, whether the international community as well accepts that and sees, well, we can't reach this ideal objective, or it's exceedingly unlikely that we'll reach it. What else can we discuss? Are we willing to accept that, to welcome North Korea as a de facto unofficial nuclear weapon state or not? I think this is going to be the big question everyone's going to have to answer over the next few months.